What's happening, people? Welcome back to Out of the Loop. Thank you for joining me. So today I'm going to show you a track that I've been working on, and I'm mostly going to show you the drop and the build up, as you can see in the title of the video. So there's going to be tips that I'm going to show you that you can apply to quite a lot of different genres. They really do add a lot of impact to your drop, and that can kind of make or break a song. So it's really important to have these things in place. So let's have a little listen to the track in question, and we will see what I'm working with. Just trying to get these camera angles sorted out. Check me out, my cameras. Okay, cool. So let's go from here. Hopefully my CPU doesn't freak out. Apologize if there's any crackling. Cool, I just want to move along a little bit to this part here. Yeah, cool, and it kind of just continues on from there. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, but what's funny or interesting, it's not funny really, is there isn't many channels. I've got 17 channels in the track, but it sounds pretty full, I would say. It does help that I'm using quite a few loops, I'll admit. And yeah, reducing things to like audio, which I've done here, like freezing things, reduces the amount of channels that I'm having to use. But there isn't that much in the track. It's just doing a lot with what you have, which is really important to get used to doing. Cool. So let's have a look we'll look at the first thing. So the main idea is that I am building tension. I'm building atmosphere, building like the sense that something's going to happen by doing that with melodies and like white noise, and I've got like a grain delay going on where you can hear like weird particles going on. There's like big reverb swooshes coming in. There's an atmosphere vocal thing building up. So you're just building up, and then you need to drop into like a solid groove, which is what I've done there. So like we've got a nice solid bass. Everything is tight, and this stuff is really important. So let's look at the first thing. This sound here. Or listen to it here. It's a huge sound. I was making this in Serum. I was actually doing a video on sound design in Serum, and then I got carried away with this sound and was like, oh, I need to make a track. So I just turned it into a track, and that's what we have here. So what I'm doing with this Serum pack is I'm actually giving it away on my channel, so not for PML, and I'm going to be giving it away for free through my Patreon, but it's only going to be for people that are actually signed up to my Patreon soon, rather than they sign up, they take the free preset pack, and then they cancel their subscription. So if you sign up and I know that you've been there for a while, I'll be giving you this free Serum preset pack, which will probably be about 30 sounds. But yeah, cool. So with this, I'm building tension with it by opening up the cutoff filter. I can't show you, unfortunately, because I've had to freeze the sound because it's pretty big. And then the other thing is, I can't move along either. That's quite annoying. So I wanted to show you guys. Oh, can I do it? Yeah, I can. I'm just taking away the low end in the sound. Oh, let me move that across. So I'm taking away the low end here. You can see that the low end is reduced. It's all reduced here. And I'm also taking away the high end. So I'm just reducing the sound, so it's not so obvious what it is. You can hear the rhythm of it and the melody of it, but it's not too in your face. And then it just kind of opens up and opens up. But still the low end is reduced. I'm bringing the low end in here, but it's kind of irrelevant. because what I ended up doing in the end is taking away the low end in the entire track just for that section there, just so then you appreciate the low end when it comes back in. But the main thing I want you to learn and focus on is the building of melodies. So if you have music that has melodies in, if you make melodic house or whatever, then you will have melodies, and with that you can build them and build the tension. You can see here I'm just going up the ladder, working up the scale, getting higher and higher, and as you go higher and higher in the melody, it feels like you need to resolve, and then if you resolve down to, you know, your root note or something, you get a real nice sense of home, which is what I'm doing here. Power. Yeah, so, and then this pad is doing the same thing. So it's just, this is just like a pad I made in Diva. I think I was trying to make like a Ben Boma style pad, this nice like white noisy. That's building and building, and it's really like, it needs to resolve. It's building all this tension. I also have an LFO in there that's just making the filter go. And it slows down, and then it just cuts. And it's important for that because I want the groove to just be like solid. I don't want it to be too spacey and airy. So like you can hear, it's just like groove. There is a bit of like atmosphere stuff, there's a vocal stuff there, but I think if I had this as well, and we can try this, it might actually sound good. I think if I go here. Yeah, it's kind of just getting in the way. I guess what I could do is have this play the same melody. It's just not necessary, it's not needed, and it's just, what it's going to do is just push frequencies up and cloud the things that I want to be more focused on. This is stuff you have to bear in mind, because if you don't, then you're just going to have like this big mush of sound, which all these things sound really nice on their own, but maybe not so good together. The other thing is this guitar sound that's going on. We have this, like, I made this in Massive X. Not a lot of people use Massive X, so it's probably not much point in me showing you the sound design, but it's just like a guitar sounding thing. And all it's doing is I'm just opening the cutoff so it becomes more open, but then I change the note just slightly here. I build the note, the same as here. So it's the same principle. I'm just building the note. Just here. I reverse some of the things because I have it in audio. You can reverse them, which just gives like a really cool effect, and which I did here as well. That's just such a nice little sound. I really like working in audio. I would highly recommend that you like freeze and flatten your things and then like manipulate the audio around. It's a really useful tool, but you need to be able to commit to what you have. In this case, I'm like, all right, I know that I want that, so I'm going to commit to it. Okay, cool. The other thing is the drums. All I'm doing with these drums is just I'm letting them play through, but I'm filtering them up. So I'm just like, I have an auto filter here, and they're like really closed off, so you can't really hear the high end in them. It's just like the low rumble. Like, so you're getting a feeling of something building. For me, I'm a big fan of drum and bass, and they do that a lot, where you like hearing the drums coming in, but they're not at full force, and then you get like the little gap here, and then you get your. Yeah, so then, yeah, I just really like that. Sounds nice. So I just filtered these up. This weird loop thing was a drum loop. If I take off this Berlin thing, and shout out to, I can't remember your name, but someone I've been teaching. I just did one lesson with him, and he showed me this Berlin thing. It's just a resonator in Ableton. I use it all the time now, so thank you to you. Yeah, it's just, if I take this off, you'll hear it's just like a drum. It's got some other weird textures in there. This is all from the Marabou State Pack, by the way, which is amazing. Yeah, and I put this Berlin thing on here, and it just turned it into like a... I put a compressor on there because you can hear it's a little bit harsh in areas. But that does punch through the mix quite a bit, so you want to make sure when you're capping things like that, like you're trying to control peaks, listen to it in the mix because you might really appreciate it. So if we have a listen here, it's just adding little like peaks here and there, which is really complementing the groove. But yeah, the reason I'm showing you this is just that I reverse some of the segments in it just to give this which is just really helping to suck into that groove. And I do the same here with this clap or kick. Sick drums. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to show is how I've created a like my own sound effects. So you can create your own like white noise thing rather than loading in something from Splice or wherever. So we have this crystallizer here that I'm using through Soundtoys. Sorry if you guys that don't have all these like fancy plugins and stuff, but I would highly recommend getting Soundtoys because it's amazing. Like the whole bundle. I use a lot of their plugins. Maybe not every one of them, but like the crystallizer, the PsyQ, the Decapitator, the Devil Lock. Yeah, they're really good. Echo Boy, and a lot of like professional producers do use these. I'll just show you here. You can't see my face is in the way, but this here is really good. I've tried to use the grain delay in Ableton, and I'll be honest, it doesn't sound the same, so I use this instead. It just breaks things down into different particles, and then like reverses it. You can put it reverse or forward. You can choose the timing in which it delays them or slices it up, which just gives it a really cool effect. And so what I'm doing is I've recorded this channel, and I'm going to record it again now just to show you guys. So we have an audio channel here. In this case, I recorded it, but I put the reverb on here. I have the shimmer reverb. You could use like any reverb, but in this case with the shimmer, it adds 12 semitones as it's reverbing or something like that. And what I did is I put this at 100% wet. So I put it all the way around like that. So it was really washed out. And then I recorded it, and that's how I got this kind of... So you can hear those little grainy particles. And then it like just cools down, like you're ready for the drop. You could have it where it's just like the bright white noise and then the drop, but you know, whatever. So I'll show you how to record this. So I press Control T, got an audio channel, go to crystallizer. So this is like taking the audio from somewhere. Now in this case, we want to take the audio from the crystallizer, press record, take solo off, and we're going to record what's happening now. And what's happening on this now is there's not as much reverb, so there's going to be more of the particles. So let's have a little listen. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm also sending things through to that crystallizer. So I'm sending like the drums through. You can see here, anywhere where there's this little red dot, it means I'm automating and sending it through. So press automate, and you just click at one point and then click at another, and that's going to increase the amount of signal that's going through to that return channel. I'm doing that with like everything pretty much. So it's all just going through. So I'm getting all of my track just getting turned into these little crystallizers or crystals, and then it just stops suddenly, and that's when you get the groove. So let's have a little listen to that. We'll go here and we'll record. So we'll get rid of this, Take this off record now. You can put no input. And now we have this. Oh. Right, so it's this weird glitchy thing, but it just adds like a really nice layer to your bridges and build-ups, and you could apply this to any type of track and it will just add like a new character because of the way that you've got your drums or whatever it is that you're putting into there is going to process it differently. And then you could also change that. You could change it in many different ways. My camera's in the way so I can't see. You could change it so that it pitched to a different, it didn't go to 12 semitones, so it wasn't so bright. You can make it so the timing was different. So yeah, the crystallizer is really good. I really love it, and I use it on every track. So now we have this channel here, and I could just now turn this off, which I did here. I turned it off here. So yeah, sorry, I should mention that. Sorry, indigestion. So I should mention that you need to make sure that you don't have too much of this atmospheric particle-y or whatever it is just going into your groove. You want to have a solid, definitive groove with not too much like white noise or whatever, because it just gets a bit messy and you can't really hear, and it makes it less danceable. It makes it hard to just like get into that groove. So I turned off the crystallizer here, so that means that all of that stuff will just stop suddenly. And you just do that by pressing automation, like turning it on. You go on, you click on the device. Where are we? Click on the device, like on and off. And then, oh no, sorry, I didn't even do it there. I did it on here. I just turned off the whole channel, which is the same thing. All right, cool. So the last thing I want to show you is these bits of automation here. So we have the low end being removed from the track. We have reverb being added to the track, and this is on the master. So everything is going to have a reverb being added to it. There's going to have the low end taking out of everything, and then the width of the track is going to be reduced, and then the volume of the track is going to be reduced. Without this, it makes a huge difference to your drop. It really sounds like flat. And so it's really important to get this stuff right. So let me break down what I'm doing here. So I have an auto filter, which is through Ableton. This is all through Ableton. And with the auto filter, you just click on this frequency. So make sure it's on this curve here, not that one, this one. And then what will happen, you'll see as I move along, it will get higher and higher, which is just reducing the low end. Simple as that, nothing too complicated there. And then the reverb, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just building not doing the same thing, sorry. I'm building the wet, which is just like adding more of the effect, adding more of the reverb, more and more and more, and then just reducing it to 0, which is just, it does reduce it, but you got to bear in mind there will be like decay tails, and like the reverb will continue on after you've reduced it to 0. Not by much, just by a little bit, because I've got the decay time quite short. But if you had this huge, it would just bleed into your drop. You could turn this off, and that should fix that, I think. But in this case, I liked a little bit of that air leaking into the drop. I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. The utility, this is reducing the width of the track. You can do this in quite a lot of different places. It helps a lot. I do it just to like slam into like the next transition a little bit more, like just creating some dynamics in the things that you're listening to. So we're just taking away the low end, taking away the width, so all that side information, the reverbs and stuff like that, reducing them a little bit so they're a bit more mono, and then making them stereo suddenly on the drop, which is just going to add like this nice warm hug of stereo information. The other thing is this little what's it called, gain trick, like volume. Reducing the volume in the track by 2 or 3 dB and then bringing it back in, it really helps a lot. So let's have a listen to this, and then we'll do like a before and after. Okay, so then let's take this off. And now you're going to be like, oh man, Matt, you've shown me some magic. there's the drop. It doesn't feel like anything's changed. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. You get that kick that's like whoosh, smacking you in the face, because you're getting the low end. Like this makes a huge difference. Suddenly you're getting this nice warm low end that was taking away from you, and then you get it back. Okay, cool. That's it. I think I showed everything. But one of the other things I wanted to show is once you're in this drop, once you're in the groove. Oh no, I didn't show you this. Sorry. So this is just like a tom roll, but I'm doing it with the kick. So a kick's very similar to a tom. There's a very similar character, but I'm just playing it a bit higher up. So it's higher up in pitch, and I'm just doing like a duh-duh-duh-duh. Right, and then with that, I'm also I've got a perk. This is from my Pure Drums pack. Check it out in the link down below. This is just like a little like loud, clappy sounding perk, and that just cuts through the mix really well with this. Without that, it's a bit. It could work, but that adds a bit more character. Yeah, it's just doing the same pattern. They're just like copying each other. All right, cool. I think that's it. I think I've shown everything. Maybe. Oh yeah, sorry. The other thing I wanted to show was this. So as the track has dropped and you're like enjoying the drop, blah, blah, blah. And then this part here, we have a shaker that comes in. So there's nothing crazy advanced, but it just adds something new. So you can continue listening. You're like, oh yeah, this is like grooving and there's something new happening. So if your drums can hold their own without a certain element, a certain drum element or whatever, it could be something musical as well. If everything is holding its own, like it, as in like it's strong, it's groovy, whatever, then try and just do that, and then later on add the things back in gradually. So like we could do it with this, where I take away maybe, let me separate this, take this away, might work, maybe it needs it. Yeah, that works. Then maybe here. That's just adding like a weird, like atmospheric thing. But then here we get this. You get that shaker coming in, and you didn't realize that you missed that until it came in. Like it was playing before, and then I took it away, and it's enough. There's enough of the drums here. But then you get this. All right, cool. I hope this was helpful. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I hope I didn't. Let me know if you think I did miss something and you want me to show you. Let me know if this was helpful. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more tips like this. Head over to the Patreon where you can sign up, and I will be giving away this free serum pack when it's ready in a week or so. As well as some other things that are in the Patreon as well, and it obviously supports me, which I really appreciate. One other last thing is I've been doing a lot of one-on-one training with people, which has been amazing. But make sure that if you guys want to do that you book in early, because I'm now quite busy with PML and things like that. So just let me know, book in advance, get in contact with me in the website down below, and you can get involved with some one-on-one training. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. I'll catch you next time.